Hello and welcome to my channel Crying Fly. My name is Steve, and in this video today I will give you some news about my project Autodesk Fusion 360 for Linux. But before I show you the news of my project, we change to my third workspace here, to this special post here, September 2021 product update. What's new? Yes, we get a new version of Autodesk Fusion 360 here, the version 2.0.111.86. And with this new version of Autodesk Fusion 360 we get a lot of new functions and other things what we can use in the future for our projects. Okay, so the first one is, I scroll down, then you can see these things here, the contents: modeling, generative design, electronics, drawing, manufacture, nesting and fabrication, additive, APE and additions, nodes, issues and fixes. Yes. So here the modeling, new, added in place, now supports sheet metal tools. Very nice, I think. Improved surface patch creation. This was before and now. So then we come to the next here. Save as mesh now supports OBJ. Yes, here on the right side we can see in this window here STL, 3MF, or now here OBJ. And I think this is also very nice when we create some here meshes of our models, or we import the OBJ to Autodesk Fusion 360 and transforming this to a component or other thing. Okay, so generative design, new in Peru, fluids study type, and this new study type here, fluid path, I think it's really nice for me, for my work. And yes, so I will check this new function here, this new study type in the next time, because here you can see it. We can check the fluid path, maybe when I create a new water pump or other things. Then it's really cool when I can use this new study type here in Autodesk Fusion 360. And yes, so electronics, yes, we get new package generate type, SMD header right angle, mail, yes, and here also. And so we get more paths what we can use here in the electronics workspace. So drawing dimensions units can now be in FT, M and CM. Okay, really nice. Here you can see it. Improved break projected views and section views. Oh, okay. Or here arrange dimensions with stack or all-in options. And when I scroll down, then you can see more and more new functions or other things what we can make or use in the next time or in the future for our projects. The link of this post here you can find in my video description, and so you can reading this post here later. Okay, so and the next one is here what I will show you, this post here on computerbase.de. This is wait, come on, here Computerbase, and on this post here, Linux beginner question about the choice of distribution. I have found a comment from, where is it? From this user, se dot, and here this user have posted here or published a link to my project here, Autodesk Fusion 360 here for Linux, or maybe here Fusion 360 Linux Wine version. Yes, okay. And I have read it here, this line, your GPU does not appear in the supported category, maybe it works anyway. Okay, I changed to my second workspace, especially here to my wiki, supported graphics cards, and here you get a list of supported graphics cards, what I and the other users in my community have added here to this list. These supported graphics cards, what you can see or finding here in this list, are these graphics cards. They was tested with Autodesk Fusion 360 here on Linux with Wine, okay? But when your graphics card doesn't listed here in this list, then it's so that Autodesk Fusion 360 can also work for you, okay? And when it's so, then it's very important for me and for other pupils that you give me a message, or here send me a message. Then you can write in your configuration here in this discussion here for this specially topic here, supported graphics cards. Or you have another way to give me your report. You go to my website. So I go back to this site here, especially, where is it? Here, contact form. And then you can use this contact form here to send me your report, and then I can also add this graphics card here to my list, okay? And so I think you know now that that Autodesk Fusion 360 can also work on your system when your GPU is not listed here in the in the supported graphics cards list here, okay? Here in this list, okay? So then I can closing this here, yes. And the link of this site here you can also find in the video description, okay? So then I closing this here, and we come back to my project, and here I will show you what's new here in my project Autodesk Fusion 360 for Linux. Then it's so I have added again new functions, okay? So but before I show you this new function, I will show you another things, okay? Here, this one, I have changed it here, the structure again of my project. You can find now the images, videos and other files here in this folder files here, docs for documents, extensions, this is new, for plugins or scripts and other things. Especially here can you see these 5 extensions or plugins, maybe here Octoprint for Fusion 360, or here RoboDK, Airvoice tools, and HP 3D printers for Fusion 360, or here the last one, Additive Assistant. So we come back to these extensions later, okay? So files, docs here, extensions, okay? Images, I have created these folders here, extensions, here, Flatpak, installer, other, like this one here, offline mode, wine config, especially here for DXYK. Yes, okay. Workspaces here for animation, design, drawing, electronics, generative design, manufacture, rendering, simulation, and yes, okay. And files, yes, videos, this is again here for extensions, Flatpak, workspaces here, okay. And yes, here the other files, okay. So then we come back to the homepage here, okay, yes, homepage. And yes, the folder scripts, this folder I will also move this into the files folder here later, but now it's so I have yes, you can see it, files and scripts, okay. So, and the next one is when we look here to this number here, then we can see now that my project has now 279 subscribers. Yes, really nice, and thank you for all users they have subscribed here my project here, Autodesk Fusion 360 for Linux. Okay, thank you very much. And we can see here also the number of folks, 26. Okay, really nice. So, and yes, we come also here to my file community, and here you can see also I have changed this file here. You can see here, help me make the experience even better by translating my scripts and other files into more languages. Yes, or here the other 6. And here also again, thank you very much on all these users. They help me with reports and coding and other things here to get with Autodesk Fusion 360 here on Linux. Okay, thank you very much again. So then I will scroll down, then you can find here this new line, discussions, and when I click here on this link, then we come to this site here where you get an option to writing with me, especially here in different topics. Here maybe documentation, support different languages here, German, English, Spanish, French, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Chinese, and yes, here can anybody help me to translate my documentation in different languages. Also is this very nice when you can also help me by translating my installation script. Okay, and yes, here Wine CFG virtual desktop here, and then you can see also here my first discussion here. Welcome to Fusion 360 Linux Wine version discussions here. Yes, okay. So, okay. Then I will also scroll down to this one here. Yes, we have added the Ubuntu version 21.10. This one you can also use now here with my installation script. And yes, when I see this one here, Raspberry Pi desktop, yes, it's so this works now only on computers, okay, when you have installed Raspberry Pi desktop on it, okay. But it's so I have a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, and the latest version of this Raspberry Pi with 8GB RAM, and it's so that I testing another way to use also Autodesk Fusion 360 with Wine on my Raspberry Pi 4. But it's so that I must use a specially way because Wine doesn't work at the moment correctly on the Raspberry Pi, or maybe Raspberry Pi desktop on this computer, because the problem is with the technology of the ARM platform. And so I will check this with a virtual machine on this Raspberry Pi, and so I running a Linux system on a Linux system, okay? And so I will find out that this specialty solution works later maybe on a Raspberry Pi, okay? And so I hope I can also give all users they have only a Raspberry Pi 4 maybe, because the 4 is a very good and powerful little computer when you use the 8 gigabyte RAM model. And I hope I can also to get running Autodesk Fusion 360 on these little computers, okay? So, and the next one is I have changed it here, the table of which work areas and function have I tested. Now you can see here I have changed this line here, support all languages, yes, here, oh, okay, here, these languages here, German, English, Spanish, and so on, because these languages you get with the program Autodesk Fusion 360, okay? And it's so my scripts install also the fonts for Japanese, Korean, and Chinese, and so you can also working with these specially languages maybe, okay? And it's so you can also install a plugin or maybe extension for using another language here with Autodesk Fusion 360 for Czechish or Czechish, yes, Czechish. Wait, I show you this one now here. Where is it? Files, extensions, okay, docs, extensions, and yes, I open it this side here. Come on, yes, Autodesk App Store Fusion 360, and I will search for languages. Here, translator. Here, Czech localization for Fusion 360. And yes, okay, this plugin is not for free, but I would like to show you that you can also use Autodesk Fusion 360 with another language, maybe here Czech, okay, and not only with these originally supported languages of Autodesk Fusion 360, okay. Here, yes, okay, you must buy it when you will use this language, but it's so you get with this plugin another language here as like German, English, Spanish, and so on, okay. Good. Yes, this link from this plugin you can also find in my video description, okay, when maybe a user will use this or must use this plugin here, okay. So closing, no, we come back to the site here and then we change back to the extensions, and yes, scripts and additional models, okay, this site here, okay, extensions for Autodesk Fusion 360 Linux, okay. So I closing this. So here is a list of all the extensions for Autodesk Fusion 360 that I have already tested on Linux and that also work. Yes, I have tested also another plugins here on Linux, Airfoil Tools, Additive Assistant, HP 3D printers for Autodesk Fusion 360, and here RoboTK. Yes, so we have now 5 plugins or maybe extensions what we can use, but it's so that you get these plugins with the installation of my installer. Yes, it's true. You can install these 5 plugins with the installation of Autodesk Fusion 360 here on Linux when you have selected all these plugins. Okay, then it's so when I go to here to my releases, big update extensions manager, that you get a new window or a new step in the installation of Autodesk Fusion 360, where you can select one of these plugins or extensions, all plugins, or you doesn't select any one of these plugins. Okay, and with this new function you get a better way and a faster way to use Autodesk Fusion 360 with your favorite plugins here on Linux. The other one is also what you doesn't have on Windows or Mac OS systems is with my installation script you get also the options or way to install Autodesk Fusion 360 on this system here in your home folder, or you can install Autodesk Fusion 360 on a USB drive or other external drives. Okay, and these two functions you doesn't get on Windows or Mac OS. Okay, and so I think with my installation script here, especially on Linux, you get a better way here to install Autodesk Fusion 360 here. Okay, but yes, okay, some functions or plugins you can't use here on Linux, but I think Autodesk Fusion 360 works better and better with the time, and yes, okay, and this really nice new tool here, the extension manager, I think is really good for you. Okay, so the last one is, I think I will show you this new installation script. Then it's so you have also the option to select the English language, or you can also select the German language. Okay, so I go to this side here, scroll down to this comment here, copy. Okay, change to my first workspace, open a new terminal, and I must check if here the other scripts deleted. Languages, okay, this I can delete. Closing. Input the comment, okay, and running this one. So, and this is also new. Then you can use here your language, English, and the new one here, German. Okay, and I must input EN. Okay, and you can see this new dialog is in English, or I go back, CD, and running this command again, and maybe DE, and you can see now here the installation is in German, okay? Also the dialogues and other things is also in German. Good. CD. And now I will show you the installation. So EM. Yes. Input my password. Okay. Loading repositories. Okay. And yes, now we can see this window because I have already installed Autodesk Fusion 360. When you install Autodesk Fusion in the first time, then you get another window, okay? So I click here on new installation of some or all components. I select here OpenGL, or if you have a system with integrated graphics cards like the Intel GPU, then it's better that you use here the DXYK option, okay? Because the OpenGL option doesn't work correctly on these systems, okay? And so it's better when you use the DXYK option, and on all other systems you can use here the first option, or maybe when one of these options doesn't work for you, then you can test the other one, okay? So I select here OpenGL and select my Linux distribution, OpenSUSE Leap 15.3. I must input my password again. So, okay, and we can see now this window here, the standard installation here in our home folder, here especially in the folder Wine prefixes, and then here Fusion 360, and here other option here, custom install Autodesk Fusion 360 to another place, maybe on a USB drive or other external drives, okay? And this is here the function what you also doesn't get when you install Autodesk Fusion 360 on Windows or Mac OS, okay? So I select the first option here, standard, and we can see here the installation starts here. Winetricks, and Winetricks install some packages and other things for us. And yes, here fake Japanese, the fonts what you need when you use Autodesk Fusion 360 with the Japanese language or Korean or Chinese. And yes. And now we can see here my script downloading here the Fusion 360 installer.exe file, and when it's finished, then my script install Autodesk Fusion 360 here on my system. And after the installation of Autodesk Fusion 360, we get the window here with selecting here extension or plugin, okay? So here, extracting, okay. So, and now we can see here this new window, here the extension manager. Here you can install some extensions for Autodesk Fusion 360. Airfoil Tools helps you by the optimizations, anything or part that is exposed to a moving gas or liquid, for example wings, fins, propellers and turbines. Oh, okay. Additive Assistant helps you by analyzes a number of aspects of your design and provides clear feedback on how to improve the manufacturability of the part. The HP 3D printers for Autodesk Fusion is a connector between Autodesk Fusion 360 and the HP SmartStream software, and is used to send over jobs directly to the HP software. And so you can also use this plugin maybe for connecting with your HP 3D printers here in Autodesk Fusion 360. Okay, it's the same like this one here with the Octoprint plugin, where you can connecting or send here G-codes where Autodesk Fusion 360 directly to the Octoprint server. Okay, and the last one is here Robotic Key, allows you to program more than 50 different robot manufacturers and 500 robots directly from Autodesk Fusion 360. Okay, good. So you can select one of these plugins when you click here with the mouse here into this box here, or again, and then you can see the plugin Additive Assistant is not selected. Okay, so but I think I will show you the installation of two plugins, maybe airfoil tools and maybe here Octoprint. Later in the program Autodesk Fusion 360 I show you all these plugins. Okay, so then I click on OK, and you can see it's downloading the installation files here, airfoil tools. The version is here 1.2.0, but you can update this plugin or extension directly in Autodesk Fusion 360. Okay, this is really nice. So I click here on repair and reinstall. Okay, it's success. Close. Then it's downloading the next installation file here, Octoprint for Fusion 360. This is the version 1.0.17.6, and it's so I have writing an email to Fabian here, especially where is it? Scripts and additional models here. Where is it? Octoprint here, Octoprint here. I have writing an email to Fabian Spangler, and he gave me the information that we get a new version of this plugin here, Octoprint for Autodesk Fusion 360, in around 2 weeks. And yes, so you know now that we get a new version of this very wonderful plugin in the next time, and I hope that we get also new functions. Yes, okay. And it's so I have also run here a new review, and yes, okay, my English is not the best, and yes, okay, I think you can understand me here when you're reading this review. Okay, thank you very much here to Fabian that you writing or give me this information, and that I can also use this plugin here for my installation script. Then it's also so that I hosting these plugins here on my GitHub project here, what I have showed you before I showed you the installation here, and the folder files, extensions, and here you can see these extensions or maybe plugins. And when I go back to this file here, then you can see here also the download size, release date, the release date, last updated version info, and the link to this plugin. Okay, maybe here Octoprint for Autodesk Fusion 360. And when here change it the last updated date, or here the version number, then I change this also here in my extensions for Autodesk Fusion 360 Linux list. And I change also here come on, these installation files. Okay, so okay, now we come back to the installation, and here I click on repair and reinstall. Okay, success, close, and we get the last information, or here the last window, Autodesk Fusion 360 is completed. So I click on OK, and we are finished with the installation. And now we can use these extensional plugins here in Autodesk Fusion 360 on Linux. Okay. So the next one is I will show you these plugins on my system here. So then we must wait. So okay, we see now here the German language. Okay, yes, we changed this one, but before I show you my version here, the new version of Autodesk Fusion 360 2.0.111.86. Okay, and now I change here the language. So English. Okay. Yes, we will restart this program. And then Autodesk Fusion 360 is in English. Okay, so come on. Yes, okay, now we can see here all these things is in English. Okay, and here we get this plugin Additive Assistant here or here, and with this plugin we can here and check our models, and also we get then a feedback. Okay, so I open a project, maybe this one here. Okay, and the next one is I will use this new plugin here, Additive Assistant. Then we get this window here where we must select a body here. The body of this model is selected, and then we must select here a filament, PLA, ABS, PET, PETG or CBE, nylon or other one. Okay, but I select PLA. Then we can select here the analysis approach, normal or fast, and it's very important that you change these three values so that you have the correct build volume of your 3D printer. Okay, this is very important. Maybe here you can change this to 300 millimeters, 300 millimeters, and 500 millimeters. Okay, maybe for example here, and then you must click on inspect, and we can see here the calculation of bounding box. And now we must wait. And a losing mesh. Okay, and we get here in this window the results here for overhang, warping, bed addition, part size, and environmental impact. Okay, and you get also here a description of these different things here, maybe here feedback here for overhang, and then you can see here the color. Okay, overhang is very bad. Then here for warping, here this is very good. Then bad addition, okay, good. Pulse size, and then here the last one, okay, is good, okay. And here again, here the description for error checks. Good. The first plugin, Additive Assistant, works here also on Autodesk Fusion 360 here on Linux. So then we come to the next extensions or here plugins. I change here to tools, and then you can see here RoboDKey, but this plugin doesn't work at the moment when you haven't installed here the RoboDKey software. And so I must install this software here in the next time, and then you get a feedback from me for this specially plugin here, okay? So, and the next one is here airfoil tools. Here you can see create cowling, create airfoil ducts, create propeller, turbine, and you get also here on any things here a very cool or nice description here. And yes, so and when I click maybe here on create a propeller, then we get this information here, but it's so I have updated this version here on my system, but when you will see how I have updated this plugin here directly in Autodesk Fusion 360, then you must watching the German video of this video here, and there you can see how I updating here the airfoil tools to a new version, okay? But on my system I have the newest version, okay? So create a turbine, and then you can see this new window here, and then I can select here a medium, air, freshwater, seawater, any water, other, or here flow conditions, laminar and clean, erect, turbulent and dirty, and so on, okay? And so you can see this plugin here works also here on Linux. So then we come to the last one. Yes, okay, Octoprint for Autodesk Fusion 360 we have also, but you know that this plugin works here on my system, okay? So we go to manufactory, and yes, when I create here a new setup and select maybe on the operation type additive here, Creality Ender 3, okay, then here you can see the plugin Octoprint for Autodesk Fusion 360 works here, okay? Here no connections, okay, come on, here no connection, okay. And here the settings here from my last video where I've showed you the installation of the Octoprint plugin, and also here the installation of the Octoprint server, okay? So but I will show you the HP 3D printer plugin here. So I must change to tools or the utilities, add-ins, scripts and additions. And here you can see all scripts and additions what you can activating or deactivating or use here in Autodesk Fusion 360. Maybe here's scripts, here's a spore gear. When I click on it, then we can create a spore gear. At the moment only works here the Python version of it, okay? So add-ins, and here you can see Additive Assistant works at the moment, Airfoil Juice works at the moment, Octoprint for Autodesk Fusion 360 works at the moment, and RoboDK, but not here the HP 3D printers. So I must click here on Run, and then we can change back to Additive, create a new setup, select, and then I select HP Virtual Printer. Here, Virtual Printer, Venture HP, description here, dimensions, okay, select, okay, print settings, come on, here, high resolution, low resolution, medium resolution, okay, in general. I have selected the high resolution and click on OK, and we can see now this button here, HP send to SmartStream, and cannot find HP SmartStream app. Yes, okay, because I doesn't have here any HP Jet Fusion 3D printers also, and so it's very nice when one of you have maybe a contact to another pupil, they have maybe one of these 3D printers, and they can testing maybe for me here this plugin here, especially on Linux, or you give me the contact information to me, okay? This were very good for me to get more information about this plugin, and yes. But I think the Octoprint plugin here for Autodesk Fusion 360 works also very good, the internet connection and so on, and so I think that this plugin works also. But it's very good when another pupil can testing this when they have one of these HP Jet Fusion 3D printers, and yes, okay. So I click here on OK, and so this was also here with this specially plugin here for the HP 3D printers, and so you know now that you can install these 5 plugins here. Where is it? Here, Airfoil Tools, Additive Assistant, HP 3D printers for Autodesk Fusion 360, Octoprint for Autodesk Fusion 360, and RoboDK here in Autodesk Fusion 360 with my installation script here on Linux, okay? So that was for today, and if you liked this video here, then it was really good when you give me a thumb up, please, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel Crying Fly, and don't forget to click on the little bell so you don't miss any news in the future. Okay, goodbye and have a nice day.